Hi, this is Aaron Levy. Some of you know me as Dr. Levy, author of the young adult novel Blood Don't Lie. You can find on Amazon.com, and also teacher educator. And today I wanted to offer you guys another first day activity that will dazzle your students. And this one's easy. You could roll this out tomorrow. The whole idea is asking yourself, what kind of first impression do you want to make with your students on that first day? Do you want to be like everyone else and start with the syllabus, or do you want to make that first day count and start with content first, so your students will be like, what's he going to do next, or what's she going to do next? This one I got from playwright Howard Korder, which he is a pretty popular playwright. He wrote a play called Search and Destroy that was on Broadway and became a movie. My favorite play of his is called The Lights. But this one is taken from a collection of short plays and sketches called The Pope's Nose. So the best responsible way to do this is spend the $7 or whatever it takes and order The Pope's Nose. Give Howard Korder credit when you finally reveal where you got this from. But it's called The Laws. And I'll just go through it quickly how when I do it, how I do it. The first thing I do is I'll stand stoically in front of the students for a longer than's really comfortable, and then with a straight face, and then I will turn and I will write, I'm Dr. Levy, and these are the laws on the chalkboard. I mean, when I first did this is how long ago, when I did this in my high school class, I actually did have a chalkboard, and that squeaky, sound the chalk makes on the chalkboard was great. Same thing with the whiteboard. Be animated with this. I'm Dr. Lee. Like, this is the most important thing you've ever written. You'll see some of your more studious students start to take notes. The laws, they'll start to write that down on their notebook. And you just got to practice, having a straight face. And these are comes from the actual play. And you can see that I've numbered all the laws, and I will go through, tell you why I do that. But basically, I would put this, if you don't want to memorize it, and I never did, some people do. If you don't want to memorize this, put it on a clipboard, have it, like this piece of parchment that could be your syllabus, they don't know. And then start to stroll around the room, pace around the room. And first thing you could say, these are the laws. The first law is that all shall know the laws. Kind of stop and pause for dramatic purposes. And all who know the laws shall obey the laws. The laws shall be spoken aloud in places where people shall gather, and then kind of gesture to the classroom. And all who hear them shall know them, and all who know them shall obey. These are the laws. Respect the temple. And I kind of gesture at the classroom. Maybe that's the temple. Honor the judges. I usually point to myself. The exchange of goods shall be unconfined. Nudity is not permitted. Now, if you can get through nudity is not permitted and not crack a smile and not laugh, you're doing good. You should just practice doing it without laughing. They may start to snicker. They may laugh. They've never seen or heard this kind of thing, especially on the first day of school. Then you go on. If a man should cripple another's camel, that man's camel shall be crippled as well. The delivery for this is crucial. If you can deliver it as stoic and as authoritative as possible, it just works better. And then you just keep going. My free teacher friend and colleague, Mr. Chance, made a truncated version of this that he's going to try out on Monday. So this is, what he just took it from the laws and put it like this. So you can shorten the laws, that's fine. After you deliver it, I will usually, say, give me your impressions, write down your impressions of of our time together so far, so that I have something on paper that they've written. I have their name. That's a way for me to multitask and get them to introduce themselves. But basically what you're going to do, and this is why I have them the laws numbered, is on the board. You could write, all right, now I want you each individually to rate each law. You either have to rate it 1, advice, 2, actual rule, or 3, nonsense. And so they go and they take about 3 to 5 minutes and they rate all the laws. And then I will split them into small groups. Again, getting them to start on the very first day, start to talk to each other and have them compare and contrast the list that they wrote, but then come up with a group list by consensus. So I will say to them, if you guys don't already agree, if anybody has a different number for the law, you have to make your case, and then ultimately you guys have to make a group decision. Then we'll come back after. I probably don't give them enough time to do this all because I just want to go. But I've given them some time to talk to each other. Now we're going to come back to the large group, and I'm going to ask them to tell me their choices, and then ask them to talk to me about some of the discussions they had that how they arrived at these decisions. So something like honor the judges. Is that a rule? Is it advice? So, I will ask them, what did you guys put? And then somebody's going to talk and say, well, and I'll say, why'd you guys pick a rule? Make it a rule. Why'd you guys make it advice? What kinds of discussions did you have? So I'm getting them to talk on that first day. I'm trying to multitask here. Also, now that, nudity is not permitted. Is that a rule? It sounds like a rule. Most of them will say, that's a rule. The cowboy and the farmer should be friends. What do you guys think? Is that advice? Or is that nonsense? And again, I'm getting different people to speak on the very first day out loud. Retain your stubs. Is that advice? Do not swim after eating. Is that a rule? And I'm looking to see if somebody picks it not as a rule. Ultimately, every law is nonsense. But I don't tell them that at first. I mean, if do not swim after eating, if you look at it on its face, you would never swim or you would never eat. Retain your stubs. If you look at exactly what that says, you would retain records for forever and ever. Nudity is not permitted. Does that mean when you come into the world, you have to be wearing socks? Most babies come into the world, they're pretty much naked. Does that mean you can't, take a shower without being nude? I kind of like to take my showers nude. It's just a preference I have. So ultimately, I want to get to a place where, I say, look, this year in my class, or in another way, I'm also going to answer the question, why do we have to do this that students ask, especially with English class? Why do we have to do this? So I'm trying to answer both and tee up stuff that we're going to be talking about the rest of the school year. So this year in my class, we're going to listen hard to what's being said and how it's being said so that we're not manipulated, or so that we can manipulate. Because why do we have to do this? Ultimately, you want things. I want to tell the students you want things, and you're going to need language to get the things that you want. So that's what we're doing here in my class. I'm going to teach you how to get what you want and how to not be manipulated to have things that you have taken from you. That's in general. Also, I can get more specific into writing. I can talk about audience. I can talk about first impressions. What does my audience expect? And then what did I give them? What kind of impressions did I give them? Because, I said, what did you guys get in your other class? What did you get in geometry? They probably got the syllabus. So I knew that as a writer, I can know certain things about my audience that I'm trying to predict. How can I capitalize on that? The element of surprise. Writers utilize surprise all the time. And the number one rule of writing is don't be boring. So hopefully they weren't. The whole idea is I want, as a teacher, especially because I love my content area, I want my first impression to be about content, not about control, which, we can get to the rules of the class and all that. We will. but I want my first impression to be content. Hopefully this helped you. Please, if you're interested in a great novel to use in your classroom, check out Blood Don't Lie on Amazon.com. Also, my play, Pizza with Shrimp on Top, you can find that on dramaticpublishing.com. If you want a copy of the laws, or if you want a copy of Shoes, contact me at alevy2@kennesaw.edu. You can please also visit my website. It has more stuff on about first day. And then, you can see me at georgiafilmacademy.org. I hope this helped, and I hope you do a dazzling job on your first day. Thank you.